No, I'm not cold. I'm not cold at all. Hey, y'all see what this is, right? Battle of 85 South. Where? Where is the Battle of 85 South? You show me where the Battle of 85 South is. Season sweep over the Falcons. And somebody was who was questioning Bryce Young? How dare you? How dare you question Bryce Young? I ought to show this whole thing. I might turn this into a sweater or something. Huh? Stay tuned for this episode of the Coach Cherry Show.
Watch me do what I do. It's really light work. My bootstrap. I got clear vision. You can tell that I'm nice. It's like the song snitching. Forgetting the past. I'm looking past that. Imagine that. You ain't gotta ask that. That's my energy.
It's a beautiful day. Ladies and gentlemen, you already... Is the pinky supposed to be out? You already know what time it is. Man, don't y'all get me started today. Not today. I mean, it's so much good stuff that happened. I'm trying to figure out where to start. Where should I start? Let's see. Where should I start? Carolina 30, Atlanta 27 in overtime. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Let me go ahead and get this out the way first. I was a little nervous. You said, why were you nervous, Coach Cherry? Because they started off down 21-7. But not just down. Now, 21-7 with a minute and 41 seconds left in the second quarter. That drive before the end of the half was big. When Carolina got that field goal, right before the half, it made it 21-10. That was big. When I saw the field goal, and Ryan Fitzgerald, let's give it up for Ryan Fitzgerald, rookie kicker. That's his third game-winning field goal kick. We'll get to him in a second. When I saw them get the field goal before the half and make it 21-10, I said, okay. I don't know. I just felt like had they gone in the locker room down 21-7, I felt like that might have been ball game, y'all. I'm being real with you. I felt like had they gone in the locker room down 21-7, I felt like that would have been it. But getting a score, even though it was just a field goal, getting a score before the half, I felt like that gave them life. If you've played sports, you're in a tough situation like that, 21-7. But you get that drive and that kick before the half, you feel like, hey, fellas, you know what? We're still in this thing. You got a little momentum going. That I felt like that was big. Only 3 points, but I felt like it was big. Teams are trying to take away the run game now. They've seen Rico Dowdle have these big performances. And these teams now are saying, you're not going to beat us with the run game. Rico Dowdle only had 19 carries for 45 yards. Now, Coach Dave Canales, to his credit, still was trying to give Rico the ball. I mean, look, you're talking about somebody that they're not having their best day. They're stacking the box. They're focusing on Rico. And Canales still almost gave him 20 carries. Chuba Hubbard, 4 carries for 21 yards. A little bit more success. But the run game just wasn't there. The last 2 weeks, the Saints and now the Falcons have said, you're not going to beat us running the ball. And guess who came to the rescue? I said, guess who came to the rescue? Before I get to the rescue man, before I get to Superman, before I get to the hero of the game, Coach Ijiro Avero's defense, strong. I said during the preseason, somebody was asking me, what do you think are some of the keys to the Panthers' success this season? I said defensively, it's going to be on the linebackers. I didn't talk about the secondary. I didn't talk about the D-line, Derek Brown and Ashawn Robinson. I knew that Mike Jackson, J.C. Horn. I didn't talk about them. I said, The defense is going to depend on how well the linebackers play. I felt like that was the key to defensive success. Coach Avero's defense, now you got to remember now, they're down 21-10 at the half. They held them to 6 points, third quarter, fourth quarter, OT. Only gave up 6 points. That is a lockdown. And you got to remember, Atlanta, they got some weapons. Drake London can play. Bijan Robinson can play. Like, they got some weapons. But held them to 6 points. And Coach Avero's been criticizing, but no, you got to take your hat off to him. He did his thing. The linebackers. Trayvon Merrick, 11 tackles. Christian Roseboom, 10 tackles. Claudin Sherlis, 10 tackles. All three linebackers had 10 or more tackles individually. That's what I'm talking about, flying around to the football. Now, if those linebackers are getting Christian Roseboom, y'all watch Roseboom out there. He looks like a linebacker. You know, linebackers have the little eye paint and they have the long hair coming out the helmet, and they just look like they don't care about, I know the game was indoors, but even that, they don't care about conditions, or they're not trying to look. He looks like a linebacker. He looks like, I played running back. He looks like the kind of linebacker that when you break the huddle as a running back and you're standing or staring across the line of scrimmage and you see that middle linebacker, he looks like one of those linebackers like, nah, boy, this is going to be a long day. Because he looks like he don't care. He looks like he does not care. It's going to be a long day. Gosh, the Panthers. Y'all saw them Panthers? Boy, they were down 21-7. They came all the way back and won that thing. There was a point in the game. Carolina was down 21-10. They scored a touchdown. 21-16. And Coach Canales went for 2. This is when I got a little nervous, y'all. Coach Canales went for 2. And I said, why is he going for 2 so early? What? We're going for 2 already? And they didn't get it. So the score is 21-16. I'm doing long-term math. And I'm saying it's 21-16. If you kick the extra point, it's 21-17. And I understand, I get it. You're going for 2 to make it 21-18, so it's a field goal is the difference. No, but it's in the third quarter. Now, if it's midway through the fourth or something like that, I get it. I got it. But you got a whole quarter to play. Make it 21-17, because what happened is Atlanta ended up fumbling the kickoff return. Carolina gets it back deep in Atlanta territory. If it was 21-17 at that point and you scored the go-ahead touchdown in extra point, now you're up 3. Now you're up 24-21. But see, when you go for 2 early and you don't get it, now you put yourself in a position where, okay, we got to keep going for 2 now to make up for the fact that we didn't get. And then on that possession, 4th and 1, just kick the field goal. Just make it 21-19. I know it's only 1 yard and you're deep in Atlanta territory and you want a touchdown. We all do. Kick the field goal. You make it 21-19. Now all you need is a field goal to win the game. If you make that thing 21-19, you can say, hey, fellas, let's get a stop right here. We get the ball back. We can kick the game-winning field goal. You go for it on 4th and 1. They stop Bryce short. You get nothing out the drive. Now you still need a touchdown. Fortunately, they won the game, but I felt like those 2 decisions put them in a tough spot, because now you got to play mistake-free, because you didn't get it. That's 4 points you left off the board. Worst case scenario, that game could have been 21-20, and all you need was a field goal. You left 4 points off the board. And for what? It's the third quarter. Those 2 calls I didn't get. I didn't get. Now let's talk about the man of the hour. Did not play well last week against New Orleans. Bryce Young. Bryce Young had more yards today in the first half than he had in the whole game against New Orleans. He did. Bryce Young threw for more yards in the first half today. Bryce Young threw for 130 yards in the first half. 130 yards in the first half and a touchdown. He didn't have that the whole game against New Orleans last week. What was the reason he played much better today? I think is because of last week. See, I picked the Panthers to win today, and I'm going to tell you why I picked them. Because I felt like they were embarrassed last week against New Orleans. I feel like that's embarrassing. And I felt like as an athlete, I said there is no way they can come out. Like, I just don't know how as an athlete you can come out again flat. So I felt like they're going to have some extra energy today. Now, they started off shaky, but I said there's no way they put up that same kind of performance. And my goodness, if you don't give Bryce Young credit for getting his ankle stepped on and staying in the game, when they pressured him and he got his ankle stepped on, had to go to the blue tent, then had to go to the locker room. Andy Dalton is getting ready. Andy Dalton's warming up. Now, what if Andy Dalton, now, I don't know, maybe Andy goes in and plays well. We don't know. We'll never know. I don't think Andy would have put up that kind of performance. I don't. Based on what I've seen from Andy this year, I don't think he goes in and throws for over 300. Bryce Young threw for over 300 yards in the second half. And 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Bryce Young had 0 turnovers today. 123.2 passer rating. Clearly the best game of his career. And him toughing it out and saying, I'm not coming out the game. When he walked to the locker room, I thought he was done for the day. I said, Bryce Young's done. Okay, Andy's got to come in. It's not the end of the world, but I would much rather have Bryce Young in there. But when he came back out, then I was concerned because I said, that ankle, Bryce, are you sure? If you can't go, man, say something. Don't try to be a tough guy. Because I think a big part of Bryce Young's game is his mobility, his moving. I don't like when Bryce Young just stands in the pocket. I don't like that Bryce Young. Yeah, you can do it sometimes, but I like the Bryce Young that's on the move. That's the Bryce Young that I like. When he came back in and started moving, I said, oh. But then he got his ankle stepped on again. Remember, it was 4th down again. He tried to hand it off to Rico, and the left or the right guard stepped on his ankle, and Bryce Young fell trying to hand the ball off. Stepped on the same ankle again. So I don't know what kind of pain Bryce Young was experiencing. He had to be hurting. And for him to gut it, you can't question the young man. A performance like that today, you cannot question his toughness. What Bryce Young showed today is something that I've been waiting to see. Because the talent is there. He showed leadership today. When you do something like that as the quarterback, your teammates are going to rally around you. When everybody else on the team sees that, y'all see Bryce out there? He's fighting through the pain. Let's go, fellas. Come on, let's go. Let's go. If our quarterback is doing that, let's go. Because you got to understand, when Bryce got hurt, they were down. That could have been, it was 7-7. Bryce could have tipped out the game and been like, if we lose today, it ain't going to be on me if I don't play. He could have used that as an excuse. You know what? I got a legitimate reason to sit out. He's already had a high ankle sprain. Now they step on it again. He could have easily sat out and said, well, at least they can't blame me if we lose. He took the risk of, I'm going to play anyway. Because you know as well as I do, if the Panthers lose that game, nobody is cutting Bryce Young any slack. Nobody. Nobody would have said, well, come on, y'all, man. He was playing on a hurt ankle. They would have said, he's not getting it done. He ain't the guy for the job. Get him out of here. That's what they would have said. He took the risk of going out there and being criticized and said, you know what? Forget all that. Let's ball out. Let's go. Let's ball. That man went out there and threw for 448 yards, a franchise record. Broke Cam Newton's record. I think Cam had 432. Bryce Young now has the most passing yards in a game over any other Carolina Panther in history. No Panther has thrown for more yards in a game than Bryce Young. So Regardless of what you think about Bryce Young, if somebody ever asks you, hey, who has the most passing yards in a game as a Carolina Panther? He's in the history books now. You got to say Bryce Young. And they sweep Atlanta. They beat Atlanta. They dogged Atlanta here in Charlotte 30-0. And now they beat him. So they win the season series. There is no battle of 85 South. What battle? Where's the battle? No, there is no battle. It's over. 2-0. Not only did Bryce Young throw for a franchise record, here's something that most people didn't realize. Atlanta had the #1 passing defense in the NFL. I got a Bryce Young poster around here. Atlanta had the #1 passing defense in the NFL. They were giving up the fewest. Atlanta was only giving up 162 passing yards a game. That's #1 in the NFL. That's #1. Bryce Young said, "You giving up how many? 162? I'm going to throw for over 400. How can you question this man's ability? He's one of the smallest guys on the field. They're giving up, 162? I'm going to throw for about 450. Golly. I'm talking about balling at a high level. Huh? No, Bryce Young put on this is his 10th game-winning drive. He has the most game-winning drives in the NFL since he came in the league. No, not Patrick Mahomes, not Josh Allen, not Lamar Jackson. No other quarterback has more game-winning drives than Bryce Young since he's been in the NFL. I'm just saying. You can criticize him if you want to. I'm just reading you the facts. I'm telling you the facts. Bryce Young. I don't want to get into the discussion today, but the Panthers have to make a decision. Is he their franchise quarterback? I would love to know your thoughts. Is Bryce Young the Panthers' franchise quarterback? I think if you put him in the right situation and put the right stuff around him, he is a franchise. I don't know how you can have games like this and you still say he's not a franchise. But here's what I've also noticed. Bryce Young has his best games when they get behind and they have to throw the football. I don't know why they don't come out just firing away. He had his career high before today. Today is obviously his career high, but before today, his career high was 328, I think, against Arizona in week 2. Remember, they got behind against Arizona, and in the second half, they just had to sling it around, and Bryce Young went crazy. When Bryce Young is in that situation where they get down and he just has to start throwing it, it seems like those are his best moments. Maybe Coach Canales, I don't know, Coach Canales is an NFL coach, not me. Maybe, can we open that up a little bit more earlier? Can we a little bit through the touchdown to Leggett? 36, 37 yards. Finally, we got a deep pass for a touchdown. Yes. Now, 3 plays happened today that I've been waiting on. The deep touchdown to Xavier Leggett. I've been waiting on something like that. Remember, I was like, where are the big plays? I've been asking, where are the big plays? That was one of them. He threw another short pass to Teteroy McMillan, and he took it for like 40-something yards. The run after the catch. That's what I've been asking for the receivers. If I throw you the ball, just make a play. Like you're a professional football player. If I throw you a quick slant, if I throw you a quick out, catch it and make a play. Make 2 or 3 people miss. And what won the game, I should say what gave them a huge advantage to win the game today was when he threw that pass to Tommy Tremble. That was a short pass. That wasn't like anything deep downfield. Tommy Tremble breaks about 2 or 3 tackles and scampers 52 yards. Those are the plays the Panthers have been lacking. Help your quarterback out. Help. Kevin Hart said, help me. Help the quarterback. Can I just say, hit, get rid of it quick, and you ding and go? Or do I have to do all of the work? Help me. He threw that thing to Tommy Tremble. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. That got him in field goal range. Ball game was over. Ball game. Look at the Teteroy McMillan. 8 catches for 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. We know T-Man gets busy every week. Xavier Leggett, 4 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown. Rico Dowdle out the backfield. He didn't do a lot running the ball, but 5 catches for 55 yards. That's 11 yards a catch. I'll take that. Jalen Coker, 4 catches for 52 yards. And then Tommy Tremble had one of the biggest, if not the biggest catch of the day. That's a lot of big catches. Xavier Legette had a catch on 4th down to make a first down. Tedero McMillan had the touchdown at the end of the game to give him the lead. A lot of big catches, but Tremble's catch was, I should say his run after the catch was humongous. My goodness. The Panthers are 6-5, 2-1 in the division. Boy, if they would have beat Atlanta, if they would have beat New Orleans, they would be 3-0, first place in the division. Godly. They have the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL. They're 6-5. They're in the playoff hunt. 6 games left. They have the toughest schedule in the NFL remaining. Well, who do they have, Coach Cherry? They play Monday night next week. Monday night, Panthers on Monday Night Football at San Francisco. They can win that game. Brock Purdy's back. They go against their old teammate, Christian McCaffrey. We'll see how that goes. Then they got the Los Angeles Rams coming to town. Matthew Stafford is the hottest quarterback in the NFL. That defense is going to have to be, these next 2 weeks, that defense is going to have to be locked in. San Fran and Los Angeles. Then they have a bye week, a much-needed bye week after that. Bryce Young's ankle could use that bye week. Then they go to New Orleans. That should be a win, fellas. They go to New Orleans. That should be a win. Then they got Tampa, Seattle, and Tampa. Whew. It's like they're playing. Other than New Orleans, they're playing all playoff teams. They're playing nothing but playoff teams the rest of the way. If they play like they did today, the passing game, they got a shot in all those games. Yeah, they do. If you can go to Green Bay and win, you can beat anybody else on this schedule. If you can go up to Green Bay and win, you can beat anybody on this. They just got to show up. They have to show up. I don't know where this win ranks in Panther history. Panthers got Super Bowl appearances, playoff appearances, so it may not be very high on the list. For the Dave Canales era, this is one of the biggest wins. For Bryce Young, this is one of his biggest wins. We'll see if they can keep it going next week on Monday Night Football. To shift gears, I saw Nikola Jokic the other night. Y'all, Nikola Jokic had 55 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. I said the man had 55. And he was like 5 of 6 from 3. I'm talking about a center. 5 of 6 from 3. Whew. It made people ask the question, is he a top 5 center all time? Is Nikola Jokic a top 5 center all time? It got me to thinking. I started thinking about that thing. I don't know. See, when we talk about all-time greats and we start talking about your top list, what are we really asking? Because if you're talking about from a skill set, Nikola Jokic, I think, is top 5. I don't think we've seen a center, Wemby, but I don't think we've seen a center as skilled as Jokic. They run the offense through him. I don't know, all my years of watching basketball, if I've seen somebody run their offense through the big man, through the center. I don't know if I've seen that. I've seen Hakeem Olajuwon was dominant. Shaq was dominant. Kareem. Those guys were dominant. They didn't run the offense through them. Shaq played with Penny Hardaway, Kobe Bryant. Kareem played with Magic, Oscar Robertson. Like, the offense didn't run. They had great point guards and great perimeter players. But in Denver, Jokic is the guy. Like you look at Jokic. Look at Jokic. That man is averaging 11 assists this year. 11 as a center. We have not seen. You cannot show me a center that's averaging double-digit assists. A center? No. And not only is he averaging double-digit assists, he's averaging 13 rebounds. 13 rebounds, 11 assists, and almost 29 points. So this man is averaging almost 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, from a skill set. But see, when we say top 5, are we talking about just ability? Or are we talking about career? I think it has to be a combination of both. Now, if you're asking for Coach Cherry's top 5 centers of all time, I think there are 3 guys that have to be on your list. I think they got to be. I don't think you can have a top 5 without these 3 big men. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think if we're talking about big men, Kareem has to be top 3. For a lot of people, he's going to be number 1. But I think Kareem has to be 6 NBA titles, 2 finals MVPs, 6 MVPs. He was the all-time scoring leader before LeBron broke his record. 3rd all-time in rebounds, 3rd all-time in blocks. Kareem was dominant. There's no way you can have a top 5 centers just without Kareem. I mean, that's impossible. Some say the most unstoppable move in basketball, the sky hook. Here's the question I've always had about Kareem. And I don't think it would have changed his dominance. I don't know. Kareem did. Let me say this. Kareem fans, don't get mad at me. Kareem did play with 2 of the best point guards of all time. Maybe he has a great career without them. I'm just saying. In Milwaukee, he played with Oscar Robertson, the Big O. He was Mr. Triple-Double before Russell Westbrook. Oscar Robertson was the first player to average a triple-double in a season. That was Kareem's point guard. They won an NBA title. He played with one of the best point guards ever in Milwaukee. Then he goes to Los Angeles. Plays with Magic Johnson. Yes, Kareem was dominant. But he also had the luxury of playing with 2 of the best point guards ever. Does that take anything away from Kareem? I'm just throwing that point out there. I still think, even with that, he's got to be in your top 5 big man. Center. We're not talking about power forwards, just centers. Kareem's got to be on the list. I think Shaq has to be on the list. I don't think you can have a list without Shaq. Shaq, 4 NBA titles, 3 finals MVPs, also has an MVP. Here's the thing. Look at the 3 that I'm naming, y'all. Look at the 3 that I'm naming. I said Kareem, right? Look at Kareem. Kareem, 5-time all-defensive first team. 5 times all-defensive first team. Then I go down to Shaq. People don't really know this about Shaq because we look at Shaq as dunking and just scoring a whole bunch of points. Shaq. Shaq made the all-defensive team 3 times. I said all-defense. Shaq did. I think he's number 2. The 3rd person I think has to be on your list, Hakeem Olajuwon. He's got to be top 5 center of all time. You got to have Hakeem. 2 titles, 2 finals MVPs, 1 MVP, 2-time defensive player of the year. I didn't say all defensive team. Hakeem was defensive player of the year twice. That's the one area I think Jokic is not on their level. Jokic, I don't think, is the defender that Shaq, Hakeem, and Kareem were. I don't see Jokic on any all-defensive teams. He hasn't made an all-defensive team. Offensive, I don't think we've seen anything like Jokic. On the offensive side, I don't think we've seen anything like it. On the defensive side, now, but we said top 5. So if I say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, we got 2 spots left, y'all. Who are the other 2? I think, it's just me, I think Wilt Chamberlain has to be in one of those spots. That's just my opinion. I think Wilt has to be in one of those spots. Wilt Chamberlain, The only knock, Wilt has 2 NBA championships. I think the knock on Wilt, people feel like he should have had more titles. As dominant, the 100-point game, as dominant as Wilt Chamberlain was, I think people feel like, why didn't he win more championships? Now, he and Bill Russell had some historic battles, but look at Wilt Chamberlain. 2-time all-defensive team. So even he has some all-defensive. Jokic doesn't have any. So Jokic is dogging people on offense. Where is he on defense? Why can't he make an all-defensive team? But no one, I don't think, dominated the game like Wilt Chamberlain statistically. Wilt led the league in assists one year. They said he was selfish, couldn't pass the ball. So as a center, he said, all right, I'll go out and lead the league in assists then. We hadn't seen anything like Wilt Chamberlain. Now the fifth spot, ladies, I got Kareem, I got Hakeem, I got Shaq, I got Wilt. Number 5. Oh boy, the basketball people might not like this. Y'all, I don't have Bill Russell, y'all. I don't. You say, why don't you have Bill Russell? Here's my only thing about Bill Russell. Oh, now you're talking about defense. He might be the best defensive big man we've ever seen. He shot 44% from the field. I don't know about that, y'all. As a big man, he shot 44%. You're a big man, especially at that time, the 60s. Big men just played around the basket. Why are you shooting under 50%? Kareem shot over 50%. Wilt shot over 50%. Shaq shot over 50%. Hakeem shot over 50%. All the big men. I can go to David Robinson. I can go to all those guys. They all shot over 50%. Jokic shoots over 50%. Why is Bill Russell shooting 44%? It wasn't like he was shooting threes. He wasn't shooting jump shots like that. I mean, some little mid-range, short corner. We get it. But, big men weren't shooting from distance like that then. Why was he shooting 44%? Now, averaged 22.5 rebounds for his career. That's crazy. 20. If you want to talk about defense and rebounding, yeah, Bill Russell's your guy. He's your guy. But I'm not going to put Bill in my top 5 because I can't overlook the 44% field goal percentage. I can't overlook that, y'all. I can't. Defensively, again, maybe the greatest big man we've ever seen on the defensive end. I can't let go. So number 5 for me, if we're talking about big men, I like David Robinson. Somebody that I think is underrated, y'all. I think Moses Malone doesn't get his credit. Go back and look at Moses Malone highlights and look at Moses Malone numbers. He has an NBA title, 2-time all-defensive team, 8-time all-NBA. Moses led the league in rebounding one year. He averaged 17.5 rebounds. But Moses could score. I'm telling you, man, if you go look at Moses Malone's numbers, Moses does not get his just due. He just doesn't. My 5th spot, all-time center. That thing is tough. Boy, that thing is tough. I may go with Nikola. Can he be on that list if he only has 1 championship? Hakeem has multiple titles. Shaq, multiple. Kareem, multiple. Wilt Chamberlain, multiple. Can you be top 5 with 1 championship? Now, Jokic is only 30. So, I mean, he's got time. His career's still going. He may get another. I don't know. The West is tough. OKC, those guys are young. So, I don't know. But if Jokic retires with 1 championship, is he top 5 all time? See, that's what I'm saying now. When we talk about all-time greats, a lot of people look at how many championships did you win? We talk about all-time great quarterbacks. They look at Tom Brady. They say Tom Brady's the GOAT because he got the most championships. They say Patrick Mahomes because he's got multiple titles. Joe Montana. You don't see them name any quarterback with 1 champion. You don't see that. He's not on the list. Aaron Rodgers is not in the conversation. He only has one. Brett Favre, not in the comment. He only has one. Drew Brees, you never hear, when they talk about all-time great quarterbacks, you never hear Drew Brees. Why? He only has one championship. You hear Peyton Manning. Why? Peyton got multiple Super Bowls. So when we talk about all-time greats, it's like you gotta have multiple titles for people to. So that's why I say when we talk about top 5, top 10, whatever you want to talk about, are we basing it off of ability? Or are we basing it off what they accomplished? What did they accomplish? What did they accomplish? Or is it a combination of both? Unless Jokic retires with just ridiculous numbers, which he's putting up right now, I don't know if people are going to put him. I don't know. Because he's so different. And then you got to look at Wemby. What if Wemby gets a championship? Where are you going to put him? Because he's something that we've never seen. That man is 7'4", 7'5", dribbling and shooting threes and crossing people up. We've never seen Victor Wembanyama before. All-time centers. At number 5, I'm trying to decide between Nikola Jokic. Gosh, I'm thinking of Nikola Jokic, David Robinson, Moses Malone. I'm thinking of those 3. I really want to put Moses Malone at number 5. I really want to put Moses. You know what? I'm going to put Moses Malone at number 5. And David Robinson is right on the outside, knocking on the door. Nikola Jokic is right outside that top 5. I'm going to let his career play out. Right now, I would put the late, great Moses Malone at number 5. Speaking of list, hold on now. Steph Curry had back-to-back 40-point games. Steph Curry had back-to-back 40-point games. Y'all got to put Steph in your top 10, man. Y'all got to stop doing stuff like that. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what else to say about Steph Curry. He's the only player at the age of 35 or older to have back-to-back 40-point games. I'm sorry, there's 2 players that have done it. I said 35 years old or older. Only 2 players have had back-to-back 40-point games. Steph Curry and Michael Jordan. And you don't want to put Steph Curry in your top 10 for some reason. I don't know why. I get it. I get the top 10. I get it. Michael Jordan and LeBron James and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson. And most people are going to have Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain and Shaq and Tim Duncan. We'll have a... Steph Curry's got to be in that top 10 somewhere. Such an impact on the... I don't know. I want to talk to his father. I don't know how the man dominates basketball at that size. He's little in NBA terms. The man, he's about 6'2". So if we see him in person, he's not a little guy. NBA terms, he's smaller. I don't know how he dominates at that size. He's not dunking. I see John Morant flying through the air, guys like that, Anthony Edwards. I get it. They can jump. Steph Curry doesn't do that stuff. Steph Curry ain't going to out-jump you. He's not some muscle-bound. He's a regular-sized looking guy. He may not be the fastest person on the court, the quickest. But, boy, he is dominating. How is he dominating the game like that? Can't nobody guard Steph Curry. How is he dominating the game? And it's not just... We've seen great shooters. Ray Allen could shoot the ball. Larry Bird, Reggie Miller. We've seen great shooters. Nobody has shot that deep and with the handle of Steph Curry. And that man has dropped 40-plus back-to-back games. He's in 4 championships. We just talked about you got to have multiple champions. Well, Steph's got it. He's got 4 of them. He's in my top 10. May not be in your top 10. I don't know why. Steph Curry, I don't know who you would have in the top 10 over Steph Curry. Right? Who would you have in the top 10 over Steph Curry? And not only top 10, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this. He's inching his way up that top 10. Right now, I may have Steph Curry around 9 as he keeps playing them. Why is Larry Bird over Steph Curry? I'm just asking. Why is Larry Bird ranked ahead of Steph Curry? Maybe it's something I don't know. I watched Larry Bird. I wasn't an adult when Larry Bird was playing, and I know Larry was dominant. Why is Larry Bird over Steph Curry? I'm just asking. Why is Why is Wilt Chamberlain over Steph Curry? And Wilt has 2 championships and Steph has 4. Why is it? I'm just asking. You got Wilt Chamberlain over Steph Curry. Okay. You think Wilt Chamberlain had a better career than Steph Curry? I'm just asking the question. I got Steph at number 9. But I'm telling you now, he's inching his way up my top 10 list. This NBA season, they're about 11, 12, 13 games in. So it's still early. But we talk about longevity. Steph is 37 and he's still an elite player at 37. He's still elite. I'm just saying. We'll keep an eye on this NBA. We'll keep an eye on the Carolina Panthers. Con Knipple and the Charlotte Hornets. Con Knipple is, we didn't get a chance to talk about him. Hey y'all, I didn't see that coming. I didn't. I thought Con would be solid. Everything he's doing now. Wow. Yeah, 32 the other night. The last 5 games, 6 games, he's averaging over 20. That man shooting 40% from the 3-point. Yeah, Con Knipple, Ryan Kalkbrenner, Sion James, Liam, the whole Hornets rookie class doing their thing. But we'll check back in. Don't forget Thursday, locker room talk with Coach Cherry. Don't forget to check back in on Thursday. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode of the Coach Cherry Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, hey, y'all see it, right? I got a Bryce Young poster. You might see that up here next time. I got a Bryce Young poster. Until next time, God bless you.
Faith plus talent plus drive, so he knew I could. Yeah. Looking back, I probably could have scored more. Watching old film, look at the scoreboard. No regrets, cause now I know my encores help the new players to soar. Let it breathe.